The Forsaken Hero. Volume 2. Chapter 20. CounterAttack. The secret rooftop special training that was condensed into 2 weeks ended. There's quite a difference, Katsurogi.
Really?
Nanami and I looked at the young man in front of us, and gave our honest opinions. On the last day of winter break, I looked back on how Katsurogi changed. Katsurogi's outward appearance was different from before. The difference between the before and after was amazing. All the same, that didn't mean he changed to the one in nostalgia. Still, results steadily appeared. The roundness of his face was gone, and his stomach that had stuck out had withdrawn splendidly. His arms were also covered with muscle and not just fat. Perhaps, because this was a virtual world, this could happen.
Yeah, even I doubt it.
Katsurogi clapped his stomach.
I didn't think that I would ever not see my stomach when I looked down.
It's the result of your effort.
That's right. If there were no results, I'd cry.
It's reasonable that Katsurogi would say that. Because I packed Katsurogi's schedule to the limit. Running, weight training, and combat practice, etc. That menu that seemed tight was made for Katsurogi. Well, at any rate, I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
You might be mistaken for a transfer student.
It's like Nanami said. I vote you'll be mistaken for someone else.
I'll do the same as you.
Me too. Well, I don't want to become a bet.
Isn't it fine? All of us think that Katsurogi looks different than before.
Thinking about it, it has become somewhat fun.
The combat training will become more severe starting tomorrow though.
Huh? That's interesting. My body suddenly began to hurt all over.
Then, I'll loosen you up. Hey, lend me your arms. I forcibly pulled his arms that he had folded behind his back with all of his strength. I took his hand and pulled so that his elbow straightened out.
Wait, Tamaki, that's dangerous. It'll bend.
You two are good friends.
Right.
No, wait. No matter how you look at this, it is violent.
After that, I loosened Katsurogi's body until he was weakly collapsing and looked like a mollusk.
Damn, my body is screaming everywhere.
It's because it's bad to say something like that. Other than that, quickly come over here so we can start the strategy meeting.
Where did you get so much power? Nowadays, a violent heroine isn't popular.
Katsurogi. Did you say something?
Your eyes aren't smiling. They're scary. I got it, I'm coming. Hey, Seijima too.
Yes.
After joking along with me, Katsurogi, who was receiving a massage from Nanami, since it was Nanami who offered it, he couldn't stop her, came over even though he complained. Recently, Katsurogi hasn't been anxious around Nanami.
What is it? Your cheeks are puffed up.
It's nothing. You're reading into it too much. I passed the two a piece of paper that had what we would do from now on written on it. It had the role and method they would have in defeating Samajima on it.
It's amazing, Tamaki. This is really well done.
I want Katsurogi to win. You've worked hard.
Is that so? Thanks, Tamaki.
Don't worry about it.
Wow, you're so sweet.
Nanami used her hand to cover her blushing face. Our exchange was being openly expressed.
You too. Now isn't the time to happily stare at each other like that. This is a strategy meeting.
We had trouble unlocking our gazes from each other, and as expected, Nanami decided to advance the conversation by pointing it out. Even so, it is fine to leave it as it is for a bit longer.
Yee.
No, it's nothing. Well, I'll now tell you what to do starting tomorrow. The opening ceremony. The three of us went to school as we had discussed the day before. happily, arm in arm. That said, I was only doing this because Nanami brought it up. To the bitter end, I did this to rile up Yumahara, not because I want to flirt with Katsurogi. It's definitely not because of that. Nanami. Stop staring at me with that warm gaze.
But, Yui's face has such an amazing smile on it.
Hey, you're kidding.
Just kidding.
Nanami.
Quiet down, you two. We've been the center of attention since a while ago.
We climbed up the stairs while chatting with such a feeling. Without stopping, I took a deep breath, and entered the classroom like normal. The classroom became silent. However, whispers arose when they saw Katsurogi.
Who is that guy? Tamaki's boyfriend. But, who is that guy?
A transfer student maybe?
Nanami desperately tried not to laugh at the misguided guesses while going to her seat. Katsurogi and I went up to the platform. Katsurogi powerfully declared before everyone.
I, Katsuragi Daiichi, am going out with Tamaki Yuina.
What? A large chorus of voices from around the classroom arose in surprise. Everyone stopped what they were doing. Only Samajima was glaring. Was it the composure of a strong person? Even like that, Katsurogi will definitely defeat you. Begin the counterattack. 2 weeks had passed since the declaration of war. So far the teasing of Katsurogi had quieted down. I think it is because of 2 things. First, Katsurogi's change. His appearance was clearly different than before. Losing his fat, his weak image disappeared. Thanks to that, those guys found it hard to start a fight with him. Though, being held back like that would only last a few days. And so the second reason was his relationship with me and Nanami. Since we who belonged to the upper caste in the class stuck to him at all times, they couldn't pick on him. At least they couldn't while Nanami and I were there. However, this would also have a limit. For that reason, we began. The time was right.
I'm a bit nervous.
Katsurogi wasn't able to calm down, repeatedly opening and closing his hand. This would be his first serious fight. It's all right. Katsurogi won't lose to that guy. Besides, we'll lure Yumahara here.
You've especially appealed to lure him, right?
What Nanami meant was my and Katsurogi's behavior. Being always chatting and often touching in class, calling to each other at lunch and coming here. And furthermore, with Nanami. It was truly terrific. Yumahara, our praise scorching glare. Then, I'll go over it again. First, Nanami will hand this to Yumahara. I took the fake love letter out of my pocket, and handed it to her. This time I'll make use of that guy's goodwill towards her.
It's fine for you to say that Katsuragi threatened us, right?
Yeah. Since he would find it unnecessary to hear more to choose between Katsuragi and Nanami's credibility. That's right. He wouldn't care about reason and would believe that Nanami was being forced to pretend to accompany him against her will. What's important is which one he believes.
However, will he really come?
No problem. He has the chance of raising his value in the eyes of the successfully rescued me. And above all, his pride should prevent him from running away.
Yeah. I still don't understand that well.
I get it. Because he's a simple man. He wants to look cool in front of the girls.
Well, since Katsuragi is also a man, don't worry about it. Well, Katsuragi and I will go to standby at the place Yumahara will go to from Nanami's love letter.
Then, it's fine to fight and beat him.
Yeah. Simply put, it should be fine there. When we finished reaffirming the strategy, I held out my right arm. The other two guessed my meaning and put their palms on my hand. From now on we look to win. For our first victory. Do your best.
Yeah.
We cheered towards the sky, and it was absorbed by the cloudless blue sky. On the same rooftop as usual. We were here on standby, waiting for him to arrive to the meeting place written on Nanami's letter.
He's a bit late.
Looking at his watch, Katsurogi said so. My pulse beat in my chest as the time for the decisive battle drew closer. I wasn't tense, I was excited. I predict that Katsurogi was also the same. I mean, we've been smiling about this since the situation a while ago. The person himself didn't seem to realize it, but Katsurogi was doing warm-up exercises. A mail. I opened the cell phone I was carrying in my hand that I noticed vibrating. The sender was Nanami, saying that Yamahara was headed here. I closed the screen and looked up. He'll be here soon, Katsurogi.
Got it?
When he heard me, Katsurogi began to stretch and bend. He tried to hide his trembling so that I would be fined. Even so, it was normal for his hands to tremble like that.
Tamaki.
Katsurogi rose his voice in surprise. It was natural. I mean, I was leaning against Katsurogi's back. What's the matter? I put my hand on his. Though it was usually cold, right now it was warm. That told me how he felt.
What's the matter, is it? You, doing something like that?
I mean, Katsurogi is nervous, so I think I'll relax you.
Even so, wasn't there another way?
I don't want to be separated from you. Even if you fail here, it's all right because I will never leave you. I didn't know what Katsurogi was anxiously thinking about. Was he afraid of fighting, or afraid of losing? I'm sure there are other reasons. That's why I wanted to reduce them even if just a little. I want to support him. Genuinely thinking these things, I noticed that I was embracing Katsurogi.
What is it? You are a strange person.
I don't mind even if I am weird. As long as I can be with Katsurogi.
Coming from someone who called a man over using a love letter, good grief.
Katsurogi put a hand on my head and stroked it a little roughly.
Thanks. I don't know, but how many times do I have to say it?
You still have a ways to go from now on. Until then, I'll be in your care. Separating from him, I clapped him on the back. Katsurogi was unable to respond with words, but I didn't mind. I mean, he would show me his response from now on. All right. You can do it, Daiichi. Your first battle.
Yeah.
Our counterattack begins now.